Hello my friends, welcome to another Game Jam time. My name is Paul, I'm the Teen Librarian at the Mullica Hill branch of Gloucester County Library, and today I'd like to talk about VEXCode VR. Now VEXCode VR uses Scratch-like blocks of code to make the program do things, the difference being that this time you're supposed to be programming this like virtual robot, and you have it move across the field and do different things, and you can control different sensors, cameras and things like that, magnets. So if you go to VEXCode VR, you go vr.vex.com is the address, and you can see it starts you off with just pretty much just like the regular menu you get when you do Scratch. The difference being if you go to things like sensing, you can see there's reset timer, is drive moving, left bumper pressed, front eye. You can also change it to, there's a drop down for down eye. It has two eyes, one looking forward and one looking down at the ground. And so you have specific sensors for navigating your robot. But before we get to that, if you click activities, there's also tutorials and learn. But if you go to activities and scroll down here, you can see there's all these different activities: disc color maze, crash the castle, basketball drills. There's all these different activities you can do. Disc mover is the thing I think I was working on that one. Navigating a maze, and any of these, if you click them, let's go to crash the castle. You click the activity, and it'll bring you to a Google Doc, and you'll see here there are 3 different levels of challenges. So there's an easy, medium, and hard challenge level, and then under that there's different hints to help you get through it. The reason that they do it in Google Docs is for if you wanted to do this like as a classroom activity kind of thing, you can download the Google Doc, and that way you can make your own changes to it and then give it to the class or something. But they're all like as is. You can just open the Google Doc and look at them, and they're pretty much ready to go as far as challenges. You see I already had Crash the Castle open, so let's go to the one that I was doing. I think was Disc Mover. Yeah, so this one you do this little task to pick up these magnetic discs and bring them back to these little squares here. I know I just did level 1, which is just grab 3 discs of any color and put them in any color goal. Eventually you can see there's electromagnet, pick up and place 1 disc of each color inside the matching colored goal, and then level 3 is picking up each color disc and putting each one back in their specific goal. So with mine, I just did level 1, getting 3 of any disc and putting them back in there, and it is not the cleanest algorithm that I did. I'm sure this is really messy, but I was just like, well, how do I get this to work? And I will say that, like, since I don't know much about these robots, I did a little bit of the learn and a little bit of the tutorials just to see exactly how they work. So it's a little like, I just kind of like jumped in to see what I could do. It starts you off with this boring top-down view, but if you click this camera here, you can actually get a complete view. You can zoom in, zoom out, and get a good look at your robot. And you can see here, I just did a very basic, I made a variable objects set to 0. And so what it's going to do is it walks until it sees the disc with its downward facing eye. It'll activate the magnet, it'll turn around, it'll come back until it hits the wall. With its front facing eye, it sees there's nothing, there's darkness. It drops the magnet, it turns around, adds 1 to the variable, and then it repeats that 2 more times till it gets to 3, and then it stops. So if we play our... and you'll see it highlights right there in green where it is in the program. So you can kind of see when something gets stuck. For a while I had it so it wouldn't stop or wouldn't turn around, and I kind of had to go back and troubleshoot and see what was going on. But you can see it's going through this loop, driving forward, grabbing the disc, turning around, dropping it, turning around again. We'll do that one more time. There goes our little robot. Grabbing that disc one more time, turning it around, and driving on home. And once it gets there, the variable will go to 3, which means it will get out of this loop. After 1 second there, it stopped driving, it is done. And I will say one more thing that's handy to know. This up here, if you click this, this will tell you things like sensors and variable objects if you have them clicked in here. So you can see the sensor is clicked there, and under variables, objects is clicked there, so it keeps track of what they're doing. So like if I, let's see, stop, reset, start, you can see both these are false, object is 0, now downward, down I near object went to true. And you can see you're kind of seeing in real time what these are doing. So that really helps with trying to troubleshoot exactly what's not working when you're doing these things. So definitely monitor your variables and your sensors as you're doing this. So let's stop that. That is that. So the tutorial section, if you click that, it will just give you short videos about different things. If you've done Scratch before or some kind of programming, the getting started, the moving, renaming blocks, using loops, those things will be familiar to you. But doing driving forward and backward, turning, some of those things you might need to know as far as this robot. Another thing I should mention is I don't know if you get this view here of your robot by default. What you need to do is go to Playground. That will open up your play field here where you can see your robot. And you can see it's set up right now for Disk Mover. That is under Select Playground. Here's all the different things you can do, like here's the Castle Crasher one we were just looking at. So that'll give you, there's the robot there. And there's these structures I think you have to break down. So if we go in here, yeah, you can see there's the castles, there's some towers. So you can go in and choose whichever one you're working on, and it'll just give you the layout automatically, which is kind of cool. So definitely remember Playground, and this option here, the monitor, to give you sensor and variable information, which you'll need to do this. And so that is VEXCode VR. The layout is very similar to Scratch, but I really like the fact that you get to move around this little virtual robot and do things. And the activities you get here, there's a lot of different activities to do, the mazes, the drawing, the castle crashing thing. I don't know what Robot Dance Party is. That's pretty neat. All these are really interesting. It reminds me a lot if you've ever done, if you go to code.org and do their Hour of Code projects, they're really fun because you just get to do like little self-contained activities that kind of challenge you to think computationally. I find those really fun to do, and these are just kind of more of those. So if you're looking for something to do that's a little different, I suggest going to vr.vex.com and check out VEXCode VR to program your own little virtual robot. Thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.